so the district can have this and they can post to the website in case anyone has missed. I'm going to ask that you hold all questions until the end. And then you guys can do that in the chat. And sorry, getting all these late stragglers. All right, there we go. As I mentioned, check in at that link on your screen to be entered to win free registration. And we are going to get started. So tonight's topic, we're going to talk about who we are at Right at School, talk a little bit about the curriculum and daily schedule, talk about our staff and educators that are going to be working in your schools. Safety is number one, especially in these unprecedented times. What makes Right at School different? We will talk about the 2021 tuitions and rates, the fees, and then any questions that you may have at the end, you guys can put in your chat, and we will be sure and answer all of those. So as I said, my name is Julie Lyon, and I'm the Senior Director of School Partnerships. I have been with Right at School since day one, which was 2011. So here we are almost 10 years later running before and after school camp programs across the United States for about 35,000 children a day. I am more than thrilled, I can't even tell you that we are expanding into Western New York. My husband and his family are from Buffalo. He's a proud graduate of Williamsville East. So not only am I excited to come and meet you all, but I can't wait to come get my Mighty Taco and Duff's once I can get back on the plane and start traveling, and I cannot wait to meet you all. And I am here with Andrew Cohn, our regional director, who's gonna pop in and say a quick hello.
Hello, everyone. My name is Andrew Cohen. As Julie said, I'm the Regional Director for Operations. I live in Central New Jersey and cover the Northeast. And so myself, along with your area manager, Jennifer Stam, who is currently in training, she is local to the Buffalo area. Her and I will support you now through the summer, through this transition, and then ongoing. I look forward to meeting you all sometime very soon. We'll share my contact information later, but always available via phone or email or text if you have any questions.
Great. Thanks, Andrew. So who are we at Right at School? So as educators, sorry, I keep getting people that are popping in. At some point, I'm going to have to kind of try to stop that so we can get a real conversation going. But as educators and parents ourselves, we felt pains of not having top-notch before and after school programs for our very own children. And as a former educator and teacher, I saw that every day in the elementary schools I worked in. And we really believe that we could do more for children in the out-of-school time. And that's really why we started Right at School. And our mission is to inspire a love of learning, support schools, and give parents a peace of mind. And that is really what we do, as I said, all across the United States with about 30,000 children a day in our before and after school programs. I am going to show a quick little video so you can see a day in the life with Right at School. A lot of times when we expand into new areas, we are having parents come check out our programs. Unfortunately, right now, that's obviously not possible. So we put this video together. So here we go.
Have you ever seen a child's eyes when the school bell rings? The endless possibilities. We're gonna do everything. It's time for after school, Right at School. After school is a time for friends and community. It's a time for new opportunities to test ourselves, to try out new challenges and build confidence. It's art. It's science. It's fitness and fun. It's laughter and joy. It's a journey of discovery and learning. It's all here, right at school. When you pick us up, you don't need to ask what we did today. You can see it in our eyes. We did everything. Thanks for letting me stay right at school.
So here is a typical schedule. Here's a typical schedule of an afternoon in the Right Club. And the Right Club is our after school program. I'm going to speak more to that than our before school program right now, but rest assured we will also have our before school program. All the times will remain the same, but really from when the school bell rings to when the parents pick up is our daily schedule. And through experience, we've found that the secret sauce to a great program in the after school hours is that there's an ebb and a flow here to the activities that truly set children up for success. So children are indoors, they're outdoors as much as they can, they're in full group, they're in small groups, having play experience and getting their homework done. You know, we've really surveyed families across the country, and we will survey you as well twice a year to find out what you like and what you don't like and what things that you want changed. And parents have told us that the number one thing that they love about Right at School is that their children are coming home with their homework complete, because we are working parents and we do want at 6 o'clock when we get home with our children to have homework done, and then we can have family time. And exercise and gross motor muscles are really utilizing that brain power to get those kids to sit down and do their homework. And so we're really concentrating on that before the homework time. And throughout the afternoon, they will have choice. That's very important for us at Right at Schools to make sure that the children get to choose what they want to do. So for instance, if you see on this, our daily double, triple play, that they can participate in these thematic units and activities led by our staff, or using our imagination station for free art, or they can work with their peers on long-term projects entirely inspired by their own interests. Like fifth grade boys, I'll tell you a funny story. During our Fantastic Future unit, and you'll see that on the next page, that they decided to build a future city entirely out of recyclables. So we used recyclables that we brought, we found some from the schools, and our educators just provided them with those supplies and let the boys run at it for weeks. That kind of multi-age experience and collaboration is pretty unique in the after school. But as you can see, ebb and flow from inside, outside, sitting, doing homework, moving their bodies. And this is how we keep hands-on learning diverse, new, and exciting. Each year, we have, this is our sample activity calendar. It's 2-week thematic units with different focuses and different units. And how are we doing this? And truth is, we know if I said to your children at 3 o'clock, who wants to learn more, no one would want to come to our program. So we design our activities to be super fun and totally engaging. Also, concentrating on their critical thinking, social, emotional learning, collaboration, problem solving, engineering, and physics. Our curriculum experts have really designed these new curriculum units each year that is multi-intelligence, engages students in hands-on fun. It's really important that all of our curriculum units are tied to social emotional learning standards, particularly now when our children have been home for 3 months learning. I'm one of those parents with a 6th and 3rd grader, and I see that the effects of this social emotional learning in our after school programs are just as important as we're doing it during the school day. And we know as educators that our students are getting a ton of educational value every day in our Right Club, and that's really our goal. But all that your children will know is that they're having fun in the program. And it sounds hokey, it sounds cheesy to say like every child that comes to our program is like, no, I don't want to leave at 6 o'clock, but it's true. And we can't wait for you to experience that with your children, hopefully in the fall. Andrew, I'm going to pass it on to you to talk a little bit about our educators.
Great, thanks, Julie. And for those of you who are putting questions in the chat, if we don't cover it as part of these next few slides, we will absolutely address it towards the end. So feel free to add those as we are talking. So our program is all about the staff we hire. We hire local educators. We've already had conversations with some of the current staff, and we'll engage them as well to the extent they want to join Right at School. We would love to have them. We believe, and our area manager, Jennifer, will be focused on hiring at all times to make sure we hire the right educators for the right school for the right reason. So we focus on that. So we focus also on our training and development. And you can see we use a multifaceted approach. So we start with online training. There are modules that all of our teams are assigned based on the programs we offer at that site, based on state licensing, based on our needs. We do on-site training in August to make sure people are ready for the school year. We then do field mentorship and we do some ongoing coaching and support. So every time someone has a challenge or an issue, if we're seeing it across sites, if something new has rolled out, we will do coaching and support. And then there's ongoing professional development, so our staff can take different online modules, different trainings for the experience, for the education, and also an increase in pay. These again are just some of the training topics that we cover during all facets. And again, based on the needs of an individual, they could focus in one area or multiple areas. We focus also on, we use New York State licensing guidelines for our hiring qualifications. So we are licensed by OCFS. So we follow those strictly. And can't talk enough about safety normally and in our new normal, so to speak. So we follow, again, all OCFS guidelines with background checks and trainings. We focus heavily on our check-in, check-out, sign-in, sign-out procedure, as well as our transitions from space to space. We closely work with the district and each individual school to understand their safety plans, how they communicate with families, and then we are constantly practicing monthly, bi-monthly based on the drill. I will also say here we have, we have special processes that we are currently implementing due to COVID-19. We operate essential personnel camp in New York, so we're familiar with New York expectations and guidelines. We're obviously closely monitoring that through the summer and into the fall.
And Andrew, if I can hop in and just say that we know that, as I said, we're in unprecedented times. We don't know what the fall looks like yet. And so we're partnering very closely with the school administration. And I see your superintendent is here. Hi, Superintendent Hughes. Let me know if you want to talk and I'll mute you. And we're working closely with the district because that's important. We want to be able to support the district in any way. If there are, half remote learning, half online learning, or whatever it looks like, Right at School will be there to support the school district, and we're working closely with them. I can't stress that enough.
And then there was so this is the tuition. You will see the times again are the same as they currently are. Tuition is the same for after school, before school. For the combination, so if you do both before and after, that rate is lower for all days. We offer monthly schedule changes, and quite frankly, spoke to someone who wouldn't be on the call today who has a special, unique police officer schedule, and we will work with those as well. We offer discounts. Drop-ins are available. You can typically register up until about 12 o'clock the day of if you need drop-in, certainly the day of for the following morning if you need it. And so we will work with families as much as possible to allow as much flexibility when needed.
And I will say all of this is on our website. So every registration's open. In fact, I think as of 5 p.m. Central Time, we already have 16 children registered for the program, which is fabulous since it just opened. All this pricing is on there. Again, just want to say all the pricing's the same. All the times are the same. The only difference is the discount for the combo user if you're using before school and after school. It's about a 10% discount for that 5-day user. And then it drops down a little bit for the days.
So, what makes us different, really focused on a highly qualified licensing approved staff. This is all we do. So all Jennifer, as the area manager, does is lead four elementary schools before and after care programs. She has program managers at each site and then educators as well. All her focus is. Our curriculum is aligned to academic standards that offer a continuum of services. We offer those flexible 1 to 5 day options. You can pay online, register online, schedule change online, print out your tax statement online. Jennifer, myself, and our customer service department are here for you at all times. We offer the discount for siblings, free and reduced lunch families, and then we also offer drop-in and punch card Punch card is basically a drop-in, but you're purchasing in bulk, and you can use those as you wish throughout the school year.
I also want to add on there, this is rolling admission. There are never wait lists, so you do not have to worry about rushing to register because you won't have a spot. We will have a spot for you. And if you need to unenroll, you can unenroll. If you want to add, you can add. So I think one of the best things about being a partner with Right at School is that we are flexible. So we work with you on different schedules. As your partner, we listen and we want to hear, you know, how we can make your experience, you know, in our after school program better if need be.
Great. And then we will certainly go over questions that are in the chat, but outside of that, if you have a specific family question or anything we talk about you want to take offline, or as we start to kind of ramp up, you can reach me at that email. You can also speak to our customer service department, and we will also then, as families register, get Jennifer's name, phone number, email out there for people to reach out to.
One last thing I'm going to say before you start moderating the chat, Andrew, and reading the questions is that if you have a specific question regarding your child, whether they may have an IEP or they have an aid during the day, let's take those offline because it's not a proper forum for us to be discussing certain needs with your children. Or if you need help with payment plans, which we are here for, we'll take those privately as well. Andrew's email is on there. My email is the same as his, but just julie.lyon. We're here for you. And all that information will also be on the school website, which will link you to our website.
Outstanding. All right. So we're going to go through the questions. I'm going to just start from the top and try to group them. So we had some questions about our Early Adventures, our morning program. The way our Early Adventures program, because children tend to kind of straggle in throughout, we typically have stations set up for the children based on their interests, based on their needs. So there may be, again, depending on the school, there may be some who need to finish up their homework. That's available. It could be certain games. It could be an ongoing theme that the children are working on. It is a little less structured, again, because the children kind of come in throughout the time. What are the staff experiences with students with disabilities and have IEPs? We work with children with IEPs and disabilities. So we provide training to our team, and then we work one-on-one with each family to understand what the need is. We don't offer one-on-one aids, but any support that we can provide, we will. We can coordinate with the school, with the district to the extent that that's available. Every situation is different. We have an inclusion needs department that will work with us as well if we need support locally for that. Yep, so the rates we went over. Qualifications of the educators. So licensing for the program manager who runs the individual site. They need a mix of direct supervisory experience in a child care setting, as well as a certain amount of education. And the more education they need, the less academic or less supervisory. So it's kind of a sliding scale. And then our educators, from a licensing standpoint, it's a high school diploma. We certainly look for staff who are passionate about working with children, want to work with children, have experience working with children, those who are getting their teaching degrees, those who are paraprofessionals in the district. All those are certainly staff we look to hire.
I just want to add onto that, reiterate that any current district staff that we're working in the program, we will be interviewing any of them that would like to work at Right at School. That's really important to us. They may know your children already, as long as they meet the standards. The only difference, and I cannot remember, but we do not hire high school students. They cannot, per licensing, and it's just something that we've started, when we started in 2011, we just don't hire high school students to be included in the ratio of children. Sometimes we have them work as interns, but then they have to be background checked and meet, qualifications to, be with children.
Great. So Kelly asked, if a child becomes frustrated or is not compliant, what is your discipline approach? We only use positive guidance. This is a absolute passion of mine. and it's something that we focus on heavily. So there's no timeouts, there's no, removing them from the program. Look, certainly if there's a danger issue, we will, we'll work through that with the family. But outside of that, typically if a child is non-compliant, it's because something that we need to do differently. And we work closely with the family, with the school where possible, and our team to ensure that they are compliant and having a good time.
Yeah, and we also look within ourselves. We find a lot of behavior issues with children in before and after school programs really stem from the children being bored. And so we want to look within ourselves as the educators to say, what are we doing? What can we change that we're doing to help the children in the program? I'm that mom who had that child in preschool that was causing some trouble, and that really was because he was bored. Switching a program or finding a different program for him that worked, all those behavior issues went away. So I want to say that the first thing we really do is look at our educators to say, what's going on in the program every day that this child continually seems to have this problem. And once we do that and work with the family, we really see a change in those types of behaviors.
Julie? Ryan asked, will the staff be only certified educators? So we follow OCFS, which is New York State's child care licensing agency. We follow their regulations. I highlighted those before.
And then they also have to pass our training in order to work in the programs, probably very much like the current, educators that we're working with the children this past school year.
Great. Who will be managing the Frontier program? So Jennifer is the area manager, and in her area is the 4 schools in the Frontier Central School District. So that is her area, and then each school will have a program manager / site director is what some are commonly referred to in New York State. If we are already signed up from last year, do we need to sign up again? You do need to sign up. Registration is now open on our website. You do not lose your space. We do not have a wait list. You can register at any time, and then you can change the schedule monthly. Will the same after-school ladies from Cloverbank be working? We would love to, and we are engaging those staff over the next few weeks to see if they're interested in working with us. If anyone is speaking to them, please feel free to give them my email address. Again, I did have had 3 conversations so far, but feel free to share that information. Will you elaborate on the drop-in? So I think I covered that, but you can same day drop in. You just let us know. Call, you can email up until about noon, and we will never say no. So cost regardless of the number of days per month. I think you saw the cost is scaled by day, and again the same rate as. Is it $35 a day for just before school? So the drop-in rate is for the day. You could use it before, after, or both as needed. Do you have to pay a registration fee for each child?
It's family.
Family, thank you.
Sorry, I just want to jump in. It's a family registration fee. If there are half day, if the school lets out for half day for if you have a student improvement day or parent teacher conference, we will provide care for the second half of the day, and that is included in the cost of the program. So you will not have to pay any extra for those half days.
Perfect, which leads to the next question. Do you charge if the students have off, vacation, staff days, and holidays? So for half days, early dismissal, no extra charge. For the additional days, we'll work with the district to create a calendar for the days they want to provide care, and that would be an additional charge.
$35 a day.
Will previous enrollees given priority to enroll? Again, there's no priority because there's no wait list. What happens if you don't have enough staff or children? For those that we have enough staff. This is what we do every day of the year throughout the country. It is our sole focus to make sure we have the right staff, right trained staff for the number of children and the quality of care we want to provide. All right. Student staff ratio. So New York State is 1 to 10. In our current world in New York, we're actually running a 1 to 9 to ensure that with the 9 children and the 1 educator, we have that sort of CDC group of 10 that's recommended. Again, 1 to 10, as it pertains to COVID and those changes, we will communicate accordingly.
We will never go past 1 to 10. I think,
Correct.
right. In fact, it usually falls under 1 to 10.
Do you still cover half days? We do. How will you house that many students at Pinehurst, especially in this time of social distancing? So again, we will work closely with the district. What we're doing in some of our schools in New York right now is we are using classrooms for small groups and rotating those small groups through the different areas. So as our plans, especially as it pertains to social distancing in each school, we will be sure to share and offer up, whether it's an individual school meeting or call with those families to discuss. We will be doing that over the coming weeks.
I think it's hard. Sorry, Andrew, I just want to interject. I think it's hard because there is so much uncertainty right now. We don't know what August, September will look like, but what we can guarantee is that we will be here for you in any way the district wants us to be there. We will be there for you, and we will follow all CDC and district guidelines with regards to social distancing, hand sanitizer, masks. We're already doing this for about 700 kids right now in New York, in Washington, where we're having great success and no cases of COVID in those programs. So we are your partners in that, and we've already added a lot of training on how to work with kids in this new era of COVID. So, but we are here for you.
Great. 2 questions around registering. Is there a link to register? Did not see the link to check in. So the link that at the beginning is sort of a place to capture names and contact. After this presentation, by tomorrow, we will send out an email to those families with the direct link. You can also go to writeatschool.com, find a program and search for Frontier, and it will come up there, the direct link to register. But that will be sent out to everyone.
That link is also on the front page of the Frontier Central School District website.
The question around for Dr. Hughes. Julie, I don't know if you want to.
Yep, let me unmute you.
Yep.
Oh, 1 second.
Dr. Hughes, the question is just about communication about the program change and saying some parents still weren't aware of the change.
We've been talking about this with the board for a while. This is the first forum. I think, we're going to have as many forums as we need to have. So information, just like information for getting your students stuff from the elementary schools and other schools has been sent out. Middle school was earlier because we have construction going on and nobody can get in the middle school right now. Like at Pinehurst, Mrs. Mikowski sent her information out yesterday. I know. I got it for my 4 individuals that live in my household. So we'll be putting out letters and following up. We will be using Blooms next year as our emergency service. Some of the buildings are already using it to send updates and things like that. So we're going to be pushing it out more and more as we go forward. As I think Andrew said, and Julie was talking, we have no idea what September is going to look like. We have a reopening committee. That's basically our safety committee with additional individuals that will be on it. We're waiting for information from the governor's task force, state education department's task force that are starting to meet. One of our teachers in the district is on the governor's task force. So we'll be pushing out a lot of communications. Our Facebook page is a good place to look. Our website is always a good place to look for updated information as we go. So we'll be constantly pushing this out, and letters will be going home in the very near future as well.
Excellent. Thank you, Dr. Hughes. Time for breakfast. Does the monthly fee cover the cost of breakfast? So yes, time for breakfast. I'm going to take it as a follow-up in terms of breakfast. Typically, every district does that a little bit differently. So I want to understand what the practice was beforehand. And I'll take that as a follow-up. Everyone.
Andrew, your voice is dropping off a little at the end, so just.
Sorry. Okay, I will. Julie said we'll all have a spot. Since there's no waiting list, can we assume you will hire the number of staff to cater to the demand of each school? Yes, and then some. Again, that is everything we do all the time. What is the child to adult ratio? 1 to 10. Will the staff be trained for kids who need access to meds? Yes. One of the New York State requirements is medicine administration training. The program manager and at least one other person on site will be trained in that. Can you only change your schedule on a monthly basis? Formally, yes. We certainly work with individual circumstances all the time. What are your staff to student ratios given that you offer drop-in? So it is the 1 to 10. And what we do is we know how many are officially registered. And so, for example, if we had 50, we need 5 people. We typically have 1 extra person who is available because we're close to that number. Likewise, if we had 41, we know that we only need the 5 and we can cover. So we manage accordingly. How does billing work? So you're billed on a monthly basis for the following month. How do we obtain a receipt? It's all through our website. You'll have an account. You'll be able to log in, print off receipts, tax statements, anything you need for that.
And you'll get your dependent care reimbursement receipt from that website as well. So everything will be there. And we have a full-time, obviously, customer service department that can help you if you come into any issues with that.
Thank you. Can we pack breakfast and send it in? Yes, you can. Nut-free. And if we know of specific allergies in a given school, we may communicate that accordingly. Will there be a cap limit as to how many students? So the only cap we would have is based on licensing. If they put a cap on number of children, typically if that's the case, we just work with the district to get more space in the building.
I will say we've never in almost 10 years had to cap a program. So that should give you an indication about capping programs.
There you go. Do you include breakfast? We discussed that. Where are the interns recruited from? So where we do have interns, it would be from local colleges and universities. Will the same people be at the same?
Andrew, let me just pop in a little bit. So typically interns we've used have been high school students that have been recommended by their school principal to get some intern hours. So we don't we don't recruit interns per se through our colleges and universities. That's where we partner with local colleges and universities to do a lot of our hiring. Our part-time staff, those educators and program managers in the school. But interns have typically come from the high school principals that have recommended them.
Excellent, thank you. Will the same people be at the same school each day? Yes, so we believe in a consistent schedule. It makes sense for everyone involved to have a consistent schedule. Of course, there's always adjustments. Sometimes, enrollment in a school in one day might be, a certain level. It might go down on a Friday, but for the most part, staff are the same. Also, if we take a day off or do not come on half days, we reimbursed for those days. You are not, if you're registered for 3 days a week, pay for 3 days a week. There wouldn't be a reimbursement if you miss a day.
And I saw a question about refund for registration fee. If there are no programs, we will most certainly refund your registration fee.
Yeah.
But we are all praying, hoping we have school in the fall, some sort of school.
Do you provide care on days that there are full staff development days? Yes, and we will communicate that out. That will be a separate registration within the same system you currently will register in. What about those students who only attend in the morning? Can they attend on the half days? Yes. Is it an extra cost? Yes. If you're not currently registered for the afternoon, you would pay for that afternoon. What happens if the school closes early because of snow? Do you cancel after school if the district cancels other after school activities? Typically, yes. We will partner with the district and communicate a clear school closing weather-related policy. If we only have our children in the morning, we answered that. Need the supervision for the half days, would that be an additional fee?
Yeah, I see some of these questions are repeated, so maybe just skip down to the ones that are not.
Are you flexible for individuals with rotating work schedules? We absolutely are. You'll work with our area manager, Jennifer, and the local program manager.
And Stacy, your comment is not redundant. It's a lot of parents, have that where they vary 1 to 5 days a week, and it may change every week, and you will work closely with your program manager to determine, you know, what days that week you'll need. We will typically try to figure out on average how many days a week you're using, you know, per month. So because you do pay an upcharge when you do that drop-in or the 10 pass. So we really want to save you money and say, if you're really going to be using just 3 days a week, then you register for 3 days and you can change those if needed.
Absolutely. Price of breakfast, I mentioned I'll take that as a follow-up. Does the monthly cost change for months with more than 4 weeks? No, each month is the same. It's sort of averaged out for that, you know, 4 week, 5 weeks. So every month is the same.
You know, we had, when we first started Right at School in 2011, we were debating, do we have each month be different depending upon the numbers of days of school? Typically when, you know, we looked at daycares, a lot of us had children in daycare. And what we found was the easiest for families. It was a consistent payment each month. So they knew exactly how much they had to pay, whether it was the month of December with only 2 weeks of school or the month of March where they had a full month. So basically what we do is we take the 180 school days that your children are in school and then divide it by the number of months that your children are in school. And then it's the same payment every month. So you know what to expect and you know what will come out of your checking account or on your credit card each month.
Perfect. Last 2 questions are around prices and invoices. So the invoice post on the end of the month, so on the 26th of the month for the following month, and then it is due on the 3rd of the month of that current month. So August 28th, you get your invoice for September, making sure it looks right. It is, you know, what I'm registered for. We still have time to make changes. And then you can do automatic payments, and that would be pulled on the 3rd of the month. Of course, again, we work with families. If there's a reason there needs to be an adjustment, don't hesitate to reach out.
Yeah, I think it's really important, Andrew, if I just say that we don't want price or cost of a program to deter a child's ability to be able to attend. So we will work with families. We also offer a discount for families that are on free and reduced lunch. All you have to do is call customer service and we will discuss with you what that payment plan would look like. But again, price should not determine whether or not your child can attend our program. We want all the children in our program. So important for us.
Outstanding. And then the last question for now, and then we will, you know, keep here if people want to post some more. Does the price change if there's a holiday or vacation? Will it be less? So to Julie's point about kind of averaging out over the 180 days, every month is the same, regardless of the holidays that may fall in.
So just because there are no more questions in there, I'm sure that there will be questions personally that Andrew and I and Jennifer, who will be your area manager, would be happy to help you with. We can always do another parent forum, virtual parent forum, maybe even in person sometime this summer, depending on state laws or, you know, the CDC guidelines with groups, but we are here for you. And so do not hesitate to reach out. I always say there's no stupid questions. This is new, and anytime childcare changes, it can provoke some anxiety, and we're here for you. So please feel free to reach out, call, email, and we are, again, so thrilled to be partnering with you for the 2021 school year.
Absolutely.
Thank you all for attending. And yeah, we're gonna speak with the district to find out what if breakfast was included in the program last year. We'll work with the district on that. And can you say the only thing about going on in the morning? We have to pay for well, I'm sorry.
Nope. You can do morning only or afternoon only or both.
Yes.
I think that's.
You can pick and choose. So you can say Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I need morning, Tuesday, Thursday, I need afternoon, or any combination that you need for your child. We are here for you. So you're not locked into anything. Thanks, everyone. And Superintendent Hughes, I will forward you the link. You can post this on the website. Just a reminder for everyone that this will be on the district website. Also, there's a link that will take you to Right at School to register. And we can't wait to see you in September.
Absolutely.
Bye, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.